Hey everybody, Chris here from VarsityGaming. It is time for another Q&A video. These videos are aimed to be made monthly at the beginning of every month, and I was going to make this at the beginning of March. However, since Operation White Noise was ending on March 5th and Operation Chimera starting on March 6th, it was kind of hard to schedule this in between that. So this video got pushed back a bit, but it's finally time for another Q&A. And before we get into the questions, I do want to make one quick announcement. In this video and the last video, all the questions were taken from YouTube sponsors, which if you don't know is basically where people can pay $5 a month to support the channel and they get a little badge. However, that will be changing in the future. The reason why it's going to be changing is because I'm going to be ending the sponsorship program on my channel. Currently, as it stands with me doing YouTube and Twitch full time, I don't have the time to really give the benefits that I promised or even give more benefits that I should be giving to all the sponsors. And since I already have a subscribe button on Twitch, which is the exact same thing as YouTube, I really don't see the point of running it. So almost all of the benefits that were sponsor only before will now be opened up to the entire community, and a sponsor button will no longer exist on my channel. If you're currently a sponsor or if you were planning on sponsoring, then what you can do instead is go to Twitch and subscribe on there. It's the same thing, $5 per month, you get a little badge in chat, and it's a good way to support the channel. So sorry to everyone who sponsored, I really appreciate the support, but it's not something I can really keep going right now. Anyways, let's go into the questions. So first question of the video from Z King asking, what do you think about the new operators? I mentioned this in the previous Siege School that I really don't like that Ubisoft came out with 2 attackers instead of 1 attacker, 1 defender. But on the overall, the attackers are interesting. They're completely different than anything else before, mainly because they both have global ults that require very little skill to actually get some reward from. When it comes to ranked and casual, I think Finka is the most powerful of the two just because you don't really need any coordination with her. All you need to do is just boost, and then everyone on your team has benefits. Meanwhile, I think Lion is by far the best when it comes to competitive scene. As you guys have seen, I didn't really watch any Pro League, but I did get some stats from Twitter showing that Lion had a 100% pick rate in all of Pro League, at least in the first week. This is because he's insanely powerful when you can drone out, find out the general location of where someone is, and then scan. The person is forced to sit still, especially if they're a roamer offsite. They have no way to move without being detected, so they sit still and then you just use a grenade to frag them out or shoot them through the floor. It is completely overpowered when it comes to the competitive scene and absolutely unnecessary. It destroys the roaming game and even makes anchoring hard because you can't really peek as much as you want. And then Finka doesn't really help in the Pro League because everyone in there already has really good aim and they can control the recoil. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, I always miss my shots whenever Finka boosts because I always expect the recoil, and then when she boosts me and I have 0 recoil, I just start aiming at the floor and missing all my shots. So on the overall, to summarize, Lion, amazing for Pro League, okay for ranked and casual unless you have a really coordinated team, and then Finka, amazing in ranked and casual, really not that good in Pro League. Next question's from Jack. What do your friends and family think of the channel? For the most part, a lot of my friends will make fun of me more than anything. They'll talk about old videos or stuff I've said in videos and make references, or they'll really just try to build me up and pretend like I'm some huge celebrity when I'm not. And if it's not that, then generally they just say that they're really surprised that I made it this far. Because I used to talk about YouTube a lot when I was in high school and talking about how I wanted to make it big, and I never really thought it was possible, and neither did they. And then I just stuck to it for 8 years, and it finally paid off. As for my family, a lot of them do not understand at all. Up until late last year, my mom said I had to finish my degree, and that she didn't want me doing YouTube so much. And then once I finally bought my car and showed her how lucrative it can actually be, she decided, okay, this is actually a pretty viable option. And now she really doesn't care. The rest of my family is more so just amazed that I can actually make money by playing video games online, which even to me is shocking, but to them it's even more shocking. And the second question from Jack is, when are you going to make an Anthony Pitt style meme video? The quick answer is never. I'm not going to do any types of videos like that. I make videos that I like to watch and that I enjoy. And no offense to any of the big content creators who do these type of videos, I just don't enjoy them. I'm not trying to discredit Anthony Pitt at all. I know he has made a big community out of his videos and people love them, but personally for me, I just don't enjoy them. So never expect any highly edited meme videos from me. Next question comes from Ethan asking, how do you control your rage so well in the off chance you aren't playing that well? So this is something I become a master at simply because most times I do not play that well, so I just have to learn how to control it. I've had so many times where I've asked a teammate what happened when they died and they just don't answer. And then I'm left there wondering what the fuck happened and I'm probably going to die because I have no idea how to counter the person who's pushing. So when it frustrates me that people rage and then I don't know what to do, I try not to do that to other people. And on top of that, you gotta learn it's just a game. It really does not impact your life in any significant way. So what's the point of getting angry over something that really won't affect you? Next question comes from Roderello. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Sorry if I butchered it. Asking, what does a normal day for you look like? Editing / streaming / offline footage. So an average day for me is waking up at around 9 or 10, eating breakfast between 10:30 to 11, and getting ready for stream. And then I stream from noon until about 3 or 4, depending on how I'm feeling, and I'll go eat dinner. After dinner, I usually just lounge on the couch for about 2 hours and relax, watch some Netflix, some random movies or TV shows. Right now I'm watching Bob's Burgers. And sometimes I'll take a nap if I didn't sleep that well the previous night. And usually somewhere between 6 or 7 is when I hop back on my computer and start editing and recording. If I need footage, we'll play for about 2 or 3 hours until I think I have enough footage or until I'm just bored of the game. And I'll quickly edit out a video for the next day. Recently I've been trying to get ahead of schedule, but generally I still edit the videos the day before. And then after all of that's done, I'll usually play games until about midnight or 1 a.m. with my friends. A lot of the time this will usually consist of games that aren't Siege, primarily Smite, and now I'm slowly getting into Fortnite, although I still find it boring, and other games like Mount Your Friends. I usually try to spend this time playing games that aren't Siege just because I want to take as much of a break as possible so I don't get bored with the game. It's always important to have fun with other things besides the stuff that's your job. Next question comes from Aaron, asking, with the new season coming up, do you just jump into ranked as soon as the season starts? Answer is yes. If you're watching stream on March 6th, you'll see that we just ran straight into ranked the second the servers were up. The main reason why I do this is primarily for content. I need new footage for videos and for streams, so I have to do it. But even if I wasn't making content, I'd probably still do it just because it's nice to have a new fresh selection of operators and a new meta. This season has been the biggest shit show out of all previous seasons just because the first week was pure rush meta. Every single game was running to the objective site within the first 30 seconds. And since it's placement matches with people who could be from Silver last season or even people from Diamond, it's a complete shit show of what each match will be. And a follow-up question from Aaron asking, will we get to rename your Smurf? So touching on what I said at the very beginning of the video, previously sponsors were going to be able to rename my Smurf every single month. And I actually did rename my Smurf, not my solo Smurf one, the other one, to the Recyclops because it was one of the suggestions given by the sponsors. But since I'll be ending the sponsorship program, I'll still probably ask you guys and make a general poll. It'll be every 30 days whenever I can change the name because Uplay now restricts you from changing it every single day. So keep an eye out for that. Every time I want to rename it, I'll just make a post in the community tab on the YouTube channel. Next question is from Z King asking, what is my all-time favorite operator? I think my number one favorite operator is probably Doc or Rook, just because I love using the MP5 ACOG on defense and just waiting out the enemies. It's probably one of the most powerful guns in my opinion, and one of the most stable. So I love just anchoring on site with it and destroying people as they try to approach. And on attack, I probably would say Hibana or Thermite. Next question asking, can you pronounce my name? I'm going to take a wild stab at this and say it's pronounced Oyvind H. Ytterstad. I have absolutely no idea if that's true or not. And the next question from Oyvind, if that's even how I pronounce the name, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Realistically, I feel like content creation online will probably die out or become so large that's going to be impossible to make a living for everyone, so probably won't be a viable option for a lot of people. So with that in mind, I'm trying to look to save as much money as possible over the next few years and then be able to retire super early at like 35 years old and then do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of my life. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube and Twitch both struggle to ever make a profit. I know for a fact YouTube has never made a profit and is always in the negative. I'm not entirely sure if Twitch is. The only reason why they can still sustain themselves is because of the companies they're owned by. Twitch is owned by Amazon, YouTube is owned by Google. The parent companies run Twitch and YouTube at a loss so that they get more user-based information. So they can afford to take the loss because they get more information out of it and can make more money in the long run. But newer sites can't. So if these two giants ever crumble, then content creation online is very likely going to follow. And in that case, I would like to have enough money saved up so I could retire. If I have to take another job after YouTube and Twitch, I'd ideally like to do something with editing, but I'm not entirely sure. I've spent so much time in my last 8 years doing content creation, I really can't see myself doing anything else. Question from Child Gaming asking, can you do more live streams on YouTube? I answered this more in depth in the last video, but I'll answer it just a tiny bit here. Overall, no, I am not going to stream on YouTube anymore. The reason why is because I'm already partnered on Twitch and growing a really big community there, so there's no point for me to stream on YouTube. And on top of that, YouTube streaming is actually dying, so there's really no point for me to get invested in it when it's just going to have a smaller community on the overall than Twitch ever will have. And this question comes from Bob Cobb Mob Wob Soblob asking, who is your favorite Siege streamer and or pro player? So I've mentioned this a lot on stream before, and I think I've probably mentioned in some videos. I honestly don't have any favorite. Primarily because I don't watch any Siege content online. I don't watch any streamers, I don't watch any YouTubers, I really don't watch Pro League at all. Going to invitationals in Montreal was the first time I ever really watched Pro League. I think before that I'd watched one match fully, and that's it. The reason why is because I play Siege at least 4 hours a day, sometimes up to 8 hours a day. And then I also edit after that. If I was to watch Pro League, YouTube, or streams, I would probably get so bored of Siege I would quit within a week. So in the interest of keeping interest in Siege, I don't watch anything outside of my own YouTube. If I had to choose like some pro player, I'd probably choose Julio from Black Dragons because South America represent. And then a follow-up question, I'm not going to say your name twice. Is there a different game mode you think would be fun in Siege? So me and my friends were actually brainstorming this quite a while ago, trying to think of different game modes because there was a rumor that new game modes would be added. The only one that I could think of would be similar to Bomb, but you have to get both objectives. I think it'd be interesting because it would require a lot of coordination, especially on the attacking side. However, I think where it would have a huge fault would be on the defending side, where they could just anchor down on one site and completely prevent you from getting the objective. It would have to be a different type of objective than either hostage, secure, or bomb. But I think I'd really like to see some type of game mode where there's two objectives, you have to get both of them in a certain amount of time. But in the end, it would probably just boil down to some form of bomb. And the last questions of the video comes from Rotorello. 3 questions. Question 1 being, what was your most soul-crushing round/game ever? So this actually happened on the day that I'm recording this video, which is Wednesday, March 14th. Today I was streaming, and in one of my first games on Ranked on my Smurf account, it was Gold 4, and I went 20 kills in a game, and we lost. The rest of my team combined had a total of 8 kills, meanwhile I was sitting up top with 20. I did everything that I could to win, and we just couldn't close it out. And every time that I died and I had to watch my teammates, it just made me want to cry because it hurt so much to watch them. By far the most frustrating match I've ever had. Okay, second question. If you weren't creating content for Siege and you had to pick one other game to put as much effort into, what would you choose? I'm honestly not too sure. There's been no other game in the rest of my life that has ever taken up as much time as Siege. Part of that has to do with the content creation, other part of that has to do with the fact that I still enjoy the game. I don't think I've ever played any FPS as much as I've played this. If I had to choose something, I'd probably choose something like Hearthstone. I used to play it all the time and loved it. And just because that game gets content out every few months, it would at least keep it refreshing. And it's a very relaxing, calm game to play. And the last question, who is my dream collab? Answer is no one. I found that I'm kind of an oddity in the content creation community is that I really don't collaborate with anyone at all. When you look at all of the bigger YouTubers, all of them are in groups of 5 with other big YouTubers and all play together. Meanwhile, I just kind of do my own thing and play with my friends. The reason why I don't like collaborations is because I feel like they're always forced. Whenever you play with a group of YouTubers, they're always like, okay, let's go for content. Like, let's meme this game, let's use pistols only, whatever. And they're always looking for ways to make new content. Meanwhile, when I'm playing with my friends, we're just like, okay, let's just have fun, let's just chat, shoot the shit, and have a good game. And that's it. And I find it much easier to just be myself and have fun with friends than it is to force it with a collaboration. So in summary, no dream collaboration. And that is it for all the questions in this month's Q&A. The only thing that'll change in April is that it'll no longer be sponsor-only questions. I'll make a post on the community tab and ask for a bunch of questions from anybody. And I'll choose like the top 15 or something most upvoted questions. Yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next Q&A. Take care.